Hey everyone, QMLauncher development team here. You know, we've got a video up on Google Play and it's kind of short, well produced, but we're not quite sure that it's getting the message across as to what the QMLauncher is all about. In fact, we've had some people say that the 15 minutes or so that Google gives you to evaluate the app isn't quite enough time to really get into all the features and figure out if this is the right launcher for you. So what we've done here is we're going to put together a video here for you. The beginning is going to show what a pretty fully populated matrix looks like in QMLauncher. And then we'll take each section and go through it a little at a time. And it'll be probably 10 or 15 minutes worth of information here for you to help make a decision. So the QMLauncher was designed to maximize your screen space and really give you the opportunity to have everything easily at your fingertips, especially if you have a lot of apps. If you've got one or two apps, contacts, those kinds of things, not a lot of content right now, then QMLauncher is probably a little bit overkill for you. But as you know, there's pretty much an app for anything these days, so we expect that people will find more value in this product as time goes on. So just a little on the layout. The first thing at the top you'll see is the widget panel. And I think some folks got confused that they thought the widget panel had to either be all the way open or all the way closed. But in fact, you can adjust the widget panel anywhere you'd like it. Then we've got the matrix, which is the cube in the middle. This contains all your apps, shortcuts to files, folders, contacts, other types of files, music files, anything you'd like can be contained in the matrix. And then along the bottom here, we've got the toolbar. And this is 4 different buttons that act as a quick launch for things that you do real frequently. And then in the center is the All Apps button, and we'll get to that in a second when you're adding apps to the matrix. So the first thing we'd like to show you is what a fully populated matrix looks like and a fully active QMLauncher. If we start at the top with the widget panel, you can see you have multiple panels. There are 3 of them here. We plan to add some more, but right now you've got 3 panels that you can slide between. This third one is blank. We'll show you how to add widgets in a second. Then you've got the matrix down here, and each one of these cubes we call a launch pad. If you touch the home button up here in the left corner, you will orient yourself to what we consider the home position. And you can see that we've got most of this filled in. There are a couple of blank launch pads which we will use in a second. And then down here we've got a choice of 4 of the toolbar items. So if you notice, we've got 2 launch pads up here in the upper left. One is labeled music, the other is photos. And this is where the whole concept of the quantum matrix comes in, where you have actually more than one matrix that you can store content in. We call it a submatrix. So if I touch on the music submatrix, you can see that it brings me to an entirely new cube where I have the ability to store all kinds of additional content. In this case, these are all my music apps. If I want to go back to the main matrix, I just hit the back button, or we have a navigation panel up at the top. So if we go into music again, you can see that now the music icon appears at the top of the navigation bar. And I also have another submatrix in here you can see called songs. If I touch on songs, now we've drilled down one more level and I'm starting to accumulate my MP3 files here. But also notice that songs now appears up at the navigation bar. What's neat about this is if you want to just jump to the home page, you can just touch the home button and you're back to the home matrix. Then you can go back in. So let's say we go into photos. Okay, this is an empty matrix that I have yet to populate with any images. And we'll show you how to do that a little bit later. Again, I can use the back button or I can use the navigation bar to move around. Now if we rotate the cube around, you can see we've got some other submatrices. Here's one called Documents. where I've started to accumulate documents and file folders. We've got another one named Contacts. If I touch on that, you can see I've started to assemble all of my contacts, and of course if I select one of those, the contact comes up and I can take action on that. Next, we're going to show you a very important feature of the QMLauncher. That's the ability to change the color of the matrix. If we select the main menu and then Preferences, you'll see we have a choice here at the bottom called Matrix Color. If we select that, we get a palette and a color picker. This is comprised of two parts. On the right hand side is a slider bar that allows us to choose the primary color that we're interested in. And then, if we select in the larger area on the left, we can fine-tune that color to exactly the hue that we want. Once we've selected that color, we press on the box down below and that sets the color of the matrix. If we go back to the home screen, you can see it goes through the process of updating the colors, and now we've got a green cube. The next feature we're going to cover is matrix mode. There are three modes that you can use the quantum matrix in. The mode we're in right now is what we call full 3D. This gives you the ability to rotate the matrix in all directions at the same time. However, if we go down and select Main Menu, Preferences, we see a selection at the top here called Matrix Mode. You've got your full 3D, but you have two other modes, Carousel and Cascade. Carousel allows you to rotate the matrix only left to right, and Cascade up and down. So we restrict one axis of motion, and there are some advantages to that. So let me demonstrate. I'll go to Carousel mode. If I hit the back to the home button, the matrix resets. We update the colors for the new mode, and you can see now you're restricted and you can only rotate the matrix side to side. Some of the benefits of this are some people prefer to have their icons always facing upright. As you can imagine, when you're in full 3D mode, sometimes they get turned upside down. But also, once you're in this mode, you have a logical start and end position, so now you can start to sort alphabetically, and we'll get to that in a second. Let me show you the other mode. Again, go to Main Menu, go to Preferences, Matrix Mode, and now we'll select Cascade. Go back to the home screen. Now we're in a Cascade mode. Now we can only rotate the matrix up and down. But again, we have, by hitting the home button, we have that ability to start. So now if I go in to show you how to alphabetically sort, we go to Main Menu, we go to Preferences, and we go to Sort Matrix. Obviously, you can have no sort, which means the apps and content that you place on the matrix will go exactly where you put them and stay there. We have an alpha sort, and we have a most recent, which is a popular sort. In other words, the things that you use most frequently will appear on the home position of the matrix. But let's select alpha. If we select alpha, go back to the home screen, you can see now, if you look closely at the apps, they have been organized in alphabetical order. Okay, since we've been using the main menu, let's go through some of the other options there. If we select the main menu, you can see you've got Wallpaper, Preferences, Settings, and Reset Matrix. If we select Wallpaper, this is where you would go to change the wallpaper for your device, and the QMLauncher will remember your selection. Settings, that simply takes you to the settings screen for your device. And Reset Matrix, this is where you can actually remove all the apps and content in the matrix itself. Your widget panel and widgets will remain intact, and your toolbar items will stay the same as well. So we're going to select No on that. Now we'd like to show you a few ways to interact with the matrix. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to retract the widget panel. So now our attention is focused entirely on the matrix. If you'd like to move an app to a different location, you simply hold down on the app and you can move it anywhere you'd like. if you want to rotate it around to another side, you just move it off the matrix a little bit and it will rotate accordingly and allow you to access any place on the matrix. And then you just drag and drop it right where you want it, and there it is. If you noticed, a couple of other icons came up in the corners. This allows you to delete an app. So if I hold down, I get two choices. I can drag it to the trash bin, which just simply removes it from the matrix, or I can drag it over to the red X, which will actually uninstall the app from your device. Another helpful feature with the QM is the ability to pinch zoom. You've seen us doing this earlier in the video, but now we'll show you that you can get in as close as you want to the matrix. This allows you to see some of the smaller icons and is a kind of a neat and cool effect. But you can also make it very small, which gives you more room for additional widgets. If you pull the widget panel down, you can start to populate that with quite a few widgets and still have all of your apps handy. Okay, now we'd like to cover how you add apps to the matrix. One of the most important features of the QMLauncher. You basically have two ways to do this. You can touch any available launchpad and you will get a menu that gives you the choice of adding applications, creating a submatrix, which we covered earlier, creating shortcuts. This is where you would have shortcuts to your contacts or those kinds of things, or folders. So if we select applications, we get a list of our applications. Then it's just a matter of selecting them from the list, whichever ones you want. Doesn't have to be just one in this mode. You can select multiple applications and hit OK. Then they are placed into the matrix. It's as simple as that. If you'd like to do them in from an All Apps mode, you select the All Apps button down here, and now you can see all the icons that you have representing your apps. Now you can launch apps from this point, so what you have to do is hit the checkbox up in the top, and now you can start to select multiple apps, just like we did earlier. They get a little check mark on them, and they start to wiggle, and that indicates that they've been selected. And here you can select any number of apps that you would like, and then what you do is you hold down on any one of them and you drag and drop them wherever you want them on the matrix. So that's how you populate the matrix very quickly. But again, if you want to just add one, you hit the cube, you hit applications, select one that you want, hit OK, and there it is. Now let's take a look at adding items to the toolbar, which is down here at the bottom. You have 4 available spaces, and this is how it shows up when you first load the QMLauncher. To add a toolbar item, you simply long press, select applications, for example, go through the list, pick the one that you want, let's say dictionary, and there it is. We can do that again. You've got other choices, shortcuts, folders. Let's pick folders. Let's make it Pandora stations, and there you have it. If you want to delete one, just long press and you get a prompt, are you sure? And you hit yes and it's gone. You can start over. Now we'll cover the widget panel, another very important feature of the QMLauncher. The widget panel is controlled by this slider up in the upper right. As long as you have your finger pressed down on the slider, you can adjust the widget panel to any location you would like. And again, you have 3 panels that you can scroll between. To add a widget to the panel, it's simple. You just hold down on the panel. Your opportunity to select a widget comes up from here in the list. You get a list of all of the widgets you can choose from. Select Pandora, and then you can hold down on the widget and move it around and position it anywhere you would like. Currently you cannot resize widgets, but that's something we have on our list for future product improvements. So again, you hold down on the widget panel, the list comes up and you select a particular widget. Let's go down here and pick the weather widget. Let's do a large one here. Let's put in a zip code, I don't know, 10111. Let's see what that is, New York. We hit OK. And now we've got our widget there, and again, we can move it around anywhere we like. You can also make the widget panel full screen and have widgets occupying the entire space, or you can shrink it entirely. Next, we'd like to cover the creation of a submatrix. So the first thing you do is find an available launch pad. Touch on the launch pad, select Submatrix. You have two choices here. You can select applications without giving the submatrix a name, or you can start typing and give this a name. We'll just call it test, and then we select the applications that we want to be in the submatrix. You can select quite a few here if we like. We hit OK, and there's our test submatrix. If we select the submatrix itself, we get a whole new matrix, and there are the apps that we selected. And again, it's showing up on the navigation bar at the top. If we go back, you have all the same controls that you had before. You can move a submatrix to another launch pad if you'd like, and you have the ability to delete it as well. Next, we're going to cover adding shortcuts, one of the most powerful features of the QMLauncher. So first you find an available launch pad, select shortcuts, and then go into your file manager. Here you have all of your files, documents, music, photos. Let's select music. Let's select a particular song. We hit create. We hit OK, and we've got the shortcut to our song there. Hit another launch pad, hit shortcuts. This time we'll go to a contact. We'll pick a contact, and our contact is added. So you can see how quickly you can build up all of your contacts, all of your songs. You can put them in submatrices. You can organize them any way you'd like, and it's a very powerful feature. So thank you for taking some time to learn more about the QMLauncher. All that we've covered here today is included in our user guide, which can be found on the support page of our website at www.qmlauncher.com. Don't forget, you've got 3 modes to operate the matrix in: full 3D, carousel, and cascade. You've got a widget panel that can be fully adjustable, and you've got the ability to quickly add shortcuts to all of your favorite content, not just apps, files, folders, music, video, photos, documents, and more. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@qmlauncher.com. Thank you.